A figure cloaked in shadows strolls through a personal haven, a vast expanse of flowers. For years, this outcast has tread the same route, his days merging into a monotonous blur. Today, however, his routine shatters at the sight of someone collapsed among the blooms. Upon closer inspection, he recognizes a face that should be impossible to know. It's Noah Gran, the cherished heroine from his all-time favorite tale. His enigmatic facade crumbles. This is his ultimate favorite character. A full-on fanboy meltdown ensues as he wonders why she's here of all places. Suddenly, a long-forgotten detail from the story's start flashes in his mind. The narrative suggests she escapes alone, tempting him to leave her behind. But forget the narrative. He scoops her up, unwilling to forsake his hero. He remembers his strange reincarnation, a one-way trip into his beloved fictional realm. This universe is safeguarded by an elite cadre of heroes known as the Guardians. His favorite Noah Gran was among them, a warrior fighting to shield humanity. He recalls her heartbreaking backstory, the very tale that made him her biggest admirer. This is the utopian world of the Fallen Mist, the game he invested his entire past life in. He even remembers a twisted fanboy notion about her dark in-game fate. Her journey began in a grim orphanage, a place utterly devoid of warmth. As a child, she was treated like a servant, overworked, and completely drained. Completing one exhausting task only led to another, even more humiliating. They forced her to toil late into the night, showing no hint of compassion. The orphanage director sells her off for a paltry bag of coins. She's then shackled and taken away from the only home she's ever known. Her new master views her not as a human, but as mere property. Any hope for a brighter future is swiftly crushed beneath his heel. She pleads for mercy, but her desperate cries go unheard. To him, she's merely a slave, her emotions utterly disregarded. He rationalizes his cruelty as simply fulfilling his role in this grim reality. Over time, the spark in her eyes dims, replaced by a vacant, cold gaze. Eventually, she's presented to a new, more formidable figure. This enigmatic noblewoman takes an interest, opting to buy Noah for herself. For the first time, she receives clean garments and a moment of dignity. Noah devours a proper meal, a luxury she has never experienced. Nestled in a soft bed, this new existence feels like an impossible fantasy. She believes she's finally discovered her own piece of paradise. Yet, this kindness is merely a precursor to a harsh and relentless routine. She convinces herself that she can withstand any suffering for these fleeting moments of peace. Predictably, even this twisted semblance of a home doesn't endure long. She and other children are led to a towering wall, the boundary of the dreaded demon realm. Desperate, Noah questions why her supposed savior has left them here. The guard reveals the noblewoman's final cruel command to grant them their freedom. The noblewoman herself appears, dismissing the guard to speak to the children directly. Perched atop the wall, she mockingly congratulates her slaves for their service. She laments the lack of entertainment in the world, exposing her twisted motivation for this entire charade. Noah's face pales as the horrifying reality finally dawns on her. As her gift, she unleashes monstrous creatures upon the defenseless children. This so-called playtime begins, and chaos erupts among them instantly. Frozen in fear, Noah can only watch as the nightmare unfolds before her. Amidst the chaos, a desperate urge to protect others ignites within her. But it's more than just instinct. Raw, untamed magic suddenly surges from her hand. The nobles are taken aback by this turn of events, yet cruelly doubt her newfound power can achieve anything. With a cry filled with desperation, Noah taps into every bit of her chaotic energy. She defiantly refuses to accept defeat, skillfully dodging a monster's lethal strike. Overcome with emotion, she can only express regret for her inability to alter this dreadful fate. The frantic struggles of the other children around her begin to fade into the background. Despair floods her eyes as she faces the reality of her own helplessness. Yet one burning thought persists. She will survive this ordeal. Hours drag on, leaving her as the sole survivor against a horde of monsters. The nightmarish playground claims its victims one by one, creating a scene of total ruin. Her body finally succumbs, her vision blurs, and she collapses from sheer fatigue. This should have marked the conclusion of her tragic story, but fate had different intentions. As the monster prepares to deliver the final blow, her instinct to survive ignites. With her last reserves of strength, she reaches out fiercely, rejecting her grim destiny. A fierce fire ignites in her gaze as she unleashes a final surge of raw energy. She fires at the beast up close, screaming her defiance at this cruel reality. The monster is utterly annihilated by the sheer, untamed force of her will. Her expression transforms into one of unwavering determination to fight another day. What follows is a chaotic blur of combat, a lone girl battling a tide of beasts. After what feels like an eternity, her feet finally touch down on soft, tranquil ground. She finds herself in a stunningly beautiful field, illuminated by a gentle, warm glow. Confused yet safe, she realizes the monsters have vanished, replaced by a magical haven. As she drifts into unconsciousness, she wonders if this serene place is heaven. Her final conscious thought is of the peace she's finally discovered after endless struggles. But she doesn't awaken in the afterlife. Instead, she finds herself in an unfamiliar bed. Disoriented and in pain, her attention snaps to the sound of a door creaking open. Her first visitor isn't a gentle nurse, but a massive beast with tusks staring at her. Just when she thought the nightmare had ended, a new one appears at her bedside. Before she can scream, a mysterious figure in a cloak steps between her and the beast. With a single effortless motion, the figure sends the creature flying across the room. The cloaked hero casually remarks that she's awake, as if battling monsters is routine. Internally, our fanboy protagonist struggles to maintain his composure in front of his hero. Noah's fear quickly morphs into rage as she lashes out at her enigmatic rescuer. An unseen force slams into the cloaked figure, sending him crashing backward. He lands in shock, realizing she's already activated her signature ability this early. Memories from his past life as a gamer flood back, confirming what he's witnessing. This is her legendary psychokinesis, the ability to manipulate objects with her mind. Thinking he's a threat, she unleashes a barrage of debris in his direction. Noah desperately tries to fend off this powerful stranger, yet he effortlessly deflects her entire psychic onslaught with a mere gust of wind. Her eyes widen in disbelief. Her ultimate attack was dismissed as if it were nothing. A chilling realization strikes her. This person is on an entirely different level than the monsters. His glowing eyes reveal a power level that is simply worlds apart. But instead of retaliating, he calmly gathers a strange light in his hands. Sensing an opportunity, Noah channels all her psychic energy directly at his throat. She'd prefer to take him down than be captured by another monster. With every ounce of her being, she pours her desperate will to survive into this attack. For a terrifying moment, it seems effective until he casually stands upright. He shatters her psychic grip as if it were merely a gentle breeze. Noah's expression twists in disbelief. Her ultimate power proved utterly ineffective. The raw backlash from her failed attack sends her crashing to the ground. Lying on the floor, completely drained, Noah can only gaze up in profound despair. He towers over her, his radiant eyes signaling that it's the end. Her resolve crumbles, realizing all her frantic efforts were in vain. Tears cascade down her cheeks as she resigns to her harsh destiny. Instead of delivering a final strike, a gentle cooking flame materializes. Her enigmatic captor nonchalantly begins roasting an entire chicken before her. Noah's mind struggles to comprehend this surreal twist. He skillfully carves the dish, completely forgetting the beast he just battled. In an instant, he readies a flawless slice of meat for the skewer. With a flourish, he showcases a perfectly grilled kebab, ready to serve. He extends the steaming skewers to his frightened guest, leaving her speechless. Noah's mind falters as she wonders why a monster is suddenly cooking kebabs. He questions her terrified look internally, missing the bigger picture. He recalls she's merely a scared, weary child who just unlocked her powers. Yet her fear is quickly eclipsed by a more urgent concern. She's starving. Humiliation and hunger clash as her stomach loudly demands attention. He offers the food once more, his intentions still shrouded in mystery. She accepts the skewer, her thoughts racing to decipher this monster's intentions. Her swirling eyes reveal a mind on the brink of total overload. Yielding to her hunger, she defiantly takes a bite, as if to challenge him. Meanwhile, our protagonist hopes his bland cooking is actually palatable. He watches in stunned silence as her terror transforms into something else. The first taste of simple meat shatters her composure, and tears of relief flow. In disbelief, she mumbles, "It's just grilled meat," yet it's more than she ever wished for. A single shining piece of meat symbolizes a lifetime of missed warmth and solace. Through her sobs, she proclaims it's the most astonishingly delicious thing she's ever had. For the first time, she experiences not just food, but pure, unfiltered kindness. The wave of relief, fatigue, and a full belly crashes over her, and she collapses into him. He catches her, recalling every detail of the tragic past he knew from his previous life. He remembers his promise to steer clear of humans after being reborn as a monster. But witnessing her pain firsthand, he realizes he can't abandon his role as a hero. With her last ounce of strength, she weakly clutches his cloak, a single question on her lips. Through her tears, she asks the one thing she desperately needs to know. Are you on my side? Her vulnerable inquiry hits him like a freight train. His fanboy heart can't handle it. He puffs out his chest, attempting to appear composed as he exclaims, "Of course I am." A single tear of pure relief carves a path down her cheek. For the first time, she offers a genuine, delicate smile and whispers, "Thank you." The sheer emotional weight of that smile completely overloads his brain. He crumples in a silent fanboy breakdown as Noah curiously wonders if he can speak. She tilts her head, surprised that this cloaked monster can actually comprehend words. Seeing him so flustered, a small smile tugs at her lips as she calls him interesting. He tries to maintain his cool, but her calling him interesting leaves him completely shaken. Noah laughs bitterly, confessing that her entire existence has been one long, miserable nightmare. With a wistful smile, she admits she'd long since lost hope of anyone rescuing her. She finds it deeply ironic that her savior turned out to be a monster, not a hero. Feeling an odd sense of comfort, she boldly inquires about her mysterious protector's name. The question catches him off guard. Does she mean his name from his previous life? She points out the obvious. As a monster in this life, he likely doesn't even have one. With a radiant smile, Noah declares that she'll be the one to bestow him a name. His fanboy mind completely shorts out. His ultimate hero is naming him. As he spirals into a full-blown panic, Noah thoughtfully ponders what to call her new companion. Noah's eyes light up as she finally settles on the ideal name for her enigmatic rescuer, Ray. The sheer brilliance of the name completely overwhelms his fanboy mind. He raises his arms in pure, unfiltered joy, absolutely thrilled with his new identity. He attempts to maintain his composure, reminding himself that her happiness is what truly counts. For a fleeting moment, she transforms in his eyes from a character to a real girl, vibrant and smiling. The heartfelt moment is abruptly interrupted by the loud, demanding growl of her stomach. He wishes he could voice his promise to always protect her. Instead, he conjures more food with his magic, pledging to be her unwavering ally. As she eats, Noah quietly expresses gratitude to Ray for his kindness, finally naming her protector. But with newfound resolve, she declares she can't remain in this sanctuary indefinitely. Ray's entire world halts at her unexpected declaration. Leave. Why would she ever wish to abandon this serene paradise? She explains that despite everything, she feels an urge to return to the human realm. Noah confesses she has no fond memories of her past, yet she can't simply linger here. An odd, persistent feeling tells her she must return. With a heavy heart, she states that this is where their paths must part. She gives him one last glance, thanking him for the food and his generosity. With a bittersweet smile, Noah offers a final soft goodbye. The door clicks shut, leaving Ray in the sudden stillness. He watches her dash away, realizing with a jolt that she was serious about leaving. Ray panics internally, knowing he can't let his hero walk away. Just as she steps outside, a monstrous creature lunges at her from the shadows. The beast's snarling face fills her vision, poised to tear her apart. But in an instant, Ray appears, sending the monster flying with a powerful kick. He scoops her up, refusing to let her face this perilous world alone. Striking a dramatic pose, he offers to be her personal protector, much to her astonishment. His silent, resolute nod is all the reassurance she needs. A brilliant, relieved smile spreads across her face as she clings to her new guardian. Hand in hand, they embark on their journey, her heartfelt thanks lingering in the air. Beneath the starry sky, Noah turns to her mysterious companion. "Hey, Ray!" Noah sits beside him, deducing that his abilities are far from ordinary magic. She remembers how her own magic faltered, while his power effortlessly obliterated the monsters. With a spark of curiosity, she inquires if he's an ability user and pleads for a demonstration. Ray pauses for a moment, contemplating her eager request. Instead of a flashy display, he suddenly reaches for her injured leg, catching her off guard. A warm, gentle light radiates from his hands, enveloping her in a comforting glow. He's not merely healing her, he's enhancing her stamina, spirit, and granting regeneration. Noah stares in disbelief as she feels her wounds miraculously stitching themselves together. She springs to her feet, completely rejuvenated, exclaiming that he's a healer of all things. Utterly enchanted, she gushes that she expected a destroyer, but this gentle power is a delightful surprise. Rei internally acknowledges that after years of monotony in his new life, he mastered various abilities, including healing. She finds the concept of a healing monster utterly captivating, dubbing him a walking contradiction. He resolves that her happiness is paramount, dismissing his confusion about her reasoning. She explains that to wield these powers, one must channel the holy energy within. That very energy represents a monster's greatest vulnerability, meaning only ability users can truly defeat them. This makes Rei a complete anomaly, a monster capable of wielding the very power that should spell his doom. Suddenly, NOAA spots their destination on the horizon, a colossal city wall. She recognizes the massive structure as the fortress city of Urog, her former home. Rei surveys the ruins, noting that this entire area was abandoned after the monster invasion forced humanity back. Noah asserts that with the border guardians ahead, she'll be safe on her own from this point forward. She urges Rei to turn back, claiming their shared journey has come to an end. But before he can object, a blade unexpectedly pierces him from behind. Rei can only manage a bewildered as the surprise attack registers. Noah's expression twists in sheer horror at the sight of her protector falling. She screams his name, horrified as he stumbles from the impact. Overcome with shock, she can only witness the terrifying scene unfold. For a brief moment, he wonders if this truly marks his end. Then he regains focus, seizing his attacker and furiously demanding their identity. With a surge of power, he effortlessly tosses his mysterious assailant aside. He looms over a dazed Noah, irritated that a human knight had to intervene. Rei glances at his wound, acknowledging he anticipated this. Just not so soon. His assailant is a border guardian, one of the elite knights Noah mentioned. The knight's eyes blaze with a chilling, focused intensity. He's clearly on a mission. Yet, the wound on Rei's chest magically heals, surprising the knight. Rei notes internally that a holy strike to the core should have been lethal for any monster. He smirks beneath his hood. He's far from an ordinary monster. The knight doesn't hesitate, lunging forward with blinding speed for another attack. He appears behind his target, only to discover Rei has vanished. Suddenly, Noah throws herself in between, shouting for the knight to halt. She stands firm, fiercely defending the very person who saved her. With her hands raised, she pleads with the knight to spare her enigmatic friend. The knight is taken aback, realizing the girl before him wields powerful abilities. Noah's eyes blaze with defiance, determined not to let anyone she cares for be harmed. He connects the dots, asking if she's the survivor from yesterday's incident. A grim flashback confirms it. She's the lone survivor of the noblewoman's cruel game. The knight's hostility shifts to relief, asking if she's truly unharmed after that ordeal. Noah is utterly confused by his sudden change, questioning what just transpired. He admits this situation exceeds his authority and requests they meet his superior. The knight formally introduces himself as Will Steele, apologizing for his hasty attack. Will explains he's a rookie, a new border guardian assigned to this post. He tells Noah that his superiors will be thrilled to hear of her survival. He mentions they're heading to the Guardian's residential area just outside the city wall. The rookie knight glances back, wondering if her monstrous companion will join them. Noah breaks into a cold sweat, the reality of sneaking a monster into a fortress hitting her hard. She can't shake the image of Rei being struck down right before her eyes. Will's expression softens. After witnessing that, he can't just leave them behind. Realizing he has no other option, the knight springs into action. He pulls out a large cloak, a brilliant plan forming in his mind. With a dramatic flourish, he wraps Noah completely in the oversized garment. Will declares he'll conceal her, prompting Rei to silently ponder his own conspicuous appearance. Will asks for her name, and she formally introduces herself as Noah Gran. The knight explains that, like her, all guardians possess powerful abilities. With a finger to his lips, he cautions them to keep their monstrous companion a secret. He guides them through the city, emphasizing that Rei must remain undiscovered. Their destination is a massive, imposing fortress, the Guardian headquarters. Will announces his arrival to his commander, while Noah and Rei awkwardly huddle together under the cloak. Without waiting for a response, the rookie knight boldly flings the door open. A man inside sighs, clearly irritated that Will didn't even wait for him to respond. The commander glares at Will, sarcastically asking if he's ever heard of knocking. Will formally apologizes to his superior, Commander Liberato Roselia, who is unimpressed by his subordinate's demeanor. Noah peeks out from her hiding place, formally introducing herself to the commander. The commander's expression drops, his stern facade crumbling instantly. He pounds his fist on the desk, completely losing his composure at the news. Overwhelmed with emotion, he grips her shoulders. Relief floods him. She's alive. Noah is utterly shocked by his sudden, intense response. The commander bows deeply, expressing regret for their failure to avert the disaster. Noah insists there's no need for apologies. The true culprits were the nobles. Liberato appears thankful for her understanding, though guilt still lingers. With calm maturity, she graciously accepts his apology and offers her own. Liberato exhales in relief, but acknowledges it's unrealistic to expect her to abandon her thirst for vengeance. Liberato points out that revenge won't mend her wounds, while also calling Will a handful. Will realizes he was just relieved she was safe, wondering if he's some kind of Sunday. The commander interrupts the emotional moment with a sharp, "So what's next?" He finally addresses the bulky cloak, questioning what's up with her luggage. Suddenly, a muffled voice from beneath the cloak demands to be released. Liberato is utterly astonished, admitting this situation exceeds his wildest expectations. Ray floats out from under the cloak, and the commander admits he's never encountered such a strange creature. Noah quickly defends him, insisting Ray saved her and would never harm anyone. The commander notes Ray doesn't match any known monster profiles, but he can't allow a monster to roam free. Liberato turns to Ray, asking the million-dollar question, "Are you genuinely on Noah's side?" Ray puffs out his chest, internally screaming that of course he is. She's his favorite character. He boldly states that doubting him is just plain rude, leaving the Guardians momentarily speechless. The commander strokes his chin, admitting this bizarre scenario is far more intriguing than he anticipated. Liberato decides this entire situation calls for an executive meeting, but there are more urgent matters at hand. He turns to Noah, confirming that she has indeed awakened her unique abilities. Will explains that as an ability user, her only path forward is to become a guardian. With a heavy heart, Noah agrees, acknowledging she has no other life to return to. The commander and Will share a warm smile, officially welcoming her into their ranks. As they prepare to conclude, Noah suddenly recalls an important detail about her companion. She turns to Ray with a curious grin, declaring he must be an ability user as well. The two Guardians are completely taken aback by her bold assertion. Noah points at a clueless Ray, confidently asserting he possesses powers just like them. Later, Noah finally receives a room of her own in the Guardians' quarters. For the first time ever, she indulges in a warm, luxurious bath. The simple comfort overwhelms her, nearly bringing her to tears. Floating in the water, she wonders if she truly deserves this newfound tranquility. The Guardians have given her a proper home, a concept that still feels foreign. The next day, Will decides to check in on their newest recruit. He knocks on the door, curious about how she's adjusting to her new life. Upon entering, he's greeted by the surprising sight of a meal already being prepared. He politely introduces himself, here to see how their newest member is faring. But before he can turn the knob, an unseen force yanks his hand away. The door bursts open with a gust of wind, sending the rookie knight tumbling backward. He's utterly confused, questioning where that sudden powerful gust originated. The invisible force shoves him right into the room, catching him completely off guard. With a loud bang, the door slams shut behind him, trapping him inside with whatever did that. Will picks himself up, wondering if this was the doing of her mysterious companion. Ray, now wearing a surprisingly domestic apron, strikes a pose and takes credit. He explains he didn't want any other Guardian to see him, so he just blew the door open instead. Will can only stare, his mind struggling to process the sight of an apron-wearing monster. Will stares, utterly shocked. A monster is casually whipping up breakfast. Ray reveals he's cooking for Noah, leaving the rookie knight completely perplexed by this domestic creature. The mention of yesterday sends Ray's thoughts spiraling, recalling the chaotic events that led them here. The scene shifts back to Noah, confidently asserting that her enigmatic companion possesses an ability. Both Guardians are left speechless by the astonishing idea of a monster wielding such powers. The commander completely loses his composure, yelling that such a thing is utterly impossible. Yet his disbelief quickly transforms into intense curiosity, demanding to know Ray's ability. In reply, Ray effortlessly conjures a sphere of pure holy light right before the astonished commander. Liberato is taken aback as he feels the sacred energy flow directly from the monster into his palm. He instantly identifies it as a rare high-level healing ability, almost legendary among the Guardians. The commander labels Ray as an executive-level threat, completely losing his cool. Back in the present, Will acknowledges that the whole scene was bizarre before asking about Noah. Ray just stares blankly, as if he has no clue what the knight is referring to. At that moment, Noah appears, leaving both boys utterly awestruck by her radiant presence. Will awkwardly hands her a package, explaining it's some extra supplies from the Guardians. Noah feels overwhelmed, thinking of the food, clothes, and now a home they've provided her. With a bright smile, she expresses her heartfelt gratitude to them. Will blushes, insisting he's merely following orders, while Ray is dazzled by his hero's radiant smile. The knight informs her of a meeting later, promising to return for her. As the door clicks shut, Noah and her monstrous guardian find themselves alone once again. Noah clutches the supplies, confessing she thought she'd only ever be suited for servitude. But Ray gently pats her head, assuring her that this new life is something she has earned. He silently wishes he could encourage her to boost her self-esteem, leaving her adorably flustered. Suddenly, her day is interrupted by the mouth-watering aroma of a home-cooked meal. She rushes to the table, completely amazed that Ray has prepared an entire breakfast for her. As she sits down to eat, she can't help but ponder why such a kind soul is a monster. But one bite is all it takes for her to melt, joking that he's trying to win her over with his cooking. Seeing her joy, Ray mentally notes to seriously improve his culinary skills. The peaceful breakfast is disrupted as he suddenly recalls the package Will brought over. His glowing eyes fixate on the box, wondering what their new ally could have possibly sent. Inside the package, Noah discovers a book featuring a legendary hero on the cover. Ray attempts to decipher the title, but Noah instantly recognizes it as a well-known heroic tale. A brilliant idea strikes him. This is the perfect chance to finally learn the language of this world. Noah pieces it together, realizing her monstrous friend can't actually read. With frantic gestures, he pleads with her to teach him, eager to finally grasp the words. Her expression falls as she admits that, as a former slave, she was never taught to read either. She offers a small smile, explaining that she knows the story is famous even without reading it. Noah recalls knowing the tale only through its illustrations, never the actual words. Ray slumps in defeat, his hopes of learning to read completely crushed. A sudden fury surges as he blames the commander for this glaring oversight and Noah's care. Noah cheerfully decides to ask the commander for lessons, completely oblivious to Ray's silent protective rage. But his anger swiftly gives way to a grim realization about their world. He remembers that books are a luxury for the privileged, and the Guardian's comfort is merely a gilded cage. In exchange for their status, they must risk their lives on the front lines against the monsters. As Will leads them onward, Ray can only reflect on how truly cruel this game setting is. Noah nervously breaks the silence, inquiring about what the Guardian executives are really like. Will offers a reassuring smile, promising her that they're all good people at heart. He asks if she's ready to meet them, and she bravely nods, prepared for whatever lies ahead. With a deep breath, Will pushes open the heavy doors to the executive meeting room. Inside, the most powerful guardians in the fortress await, their intense gazes fixed on the newcomers. A charming guardian welcomes them with a knowing grin, revealing he's been anticipating their arrival. The sharp-tongued elf immediately demands an explanation from the commander regarding this unexpected intrusion. Another executive playfully jabs at the elf, curious about what has captured her attention so fiercely. A stoic guardian brushes off the entire affair, assuming it's not worth his time. His equally unimpressed ally quickly agrees with him. A younger member of the group hesitantly inquires if everything is truly all right. The first guardian notes that while there are problems, the elf acted without knowing the complete story. The elf retorts that his calmness is infuriating, while he simply laughs it off. She advises him to chill out and calm down, concluding her little rant. Ray silently watches the squabbling, realizing this executive meeting is just a gathering of dysfunctional oddballs. The elf scoffs, clearly unimpressed by the whole scenario. Noah stands awkwardly in the room's center, feeling the weight of their gazes. The quieter guardian observes her with a gentle, almost bashful expression. The charismatic leader breaks the tension, prompting Noah to introduce herself formally. With a deep bow, she states her name is Noah Gran and requests their guidance. The shy girl blushes, telling Noah there's no need for such formality with them. A cheerful woman named Rose steps forward, proclaiming that everyone here is essentially family. Another guardian adds that he's heard she's been through quite a lot. He grins, introducing himself as Eric and officially welcoming her to the team. Even the stoic guardian manages a small smile, telling her to relax since they're all comrades now. The man calls out the elf Lilia for her attitude, pointing out she's younger than the commander. Lilia brushes him off, turning to Noah with a somewhat prickly offer to get along. Another guardian, the timid Tsubaki, nervously asks if she can get an introduction as well. Noah glances over as Tsubaki peeks out, clearly uncomfortable with the attention. The poor girl immediately short-circuits, completely overwhelmed by the social pressure. The leader officially welcomes Noah, who awkwardly clutches a very suspicious-looking bag. She happily agrees, while Rei internally celebrates that his hero has found a place to fit in. However, the other executives aren't fooled, immediately demanding to know what's in the bag. Eric cryptically refers to the bag as their main theme, leaving Rei silently pleading for mercy. Rei realizes he's completely outmatched. These executives operate on an entirely different level. Surrounded by the higher-ups, Rei wonders if he'll survive this meeting. Suddenly, a wave of pure killing intent surges from one of the guardians. Lilia grits her teeth, clearly displeased with monsters in her headquarters. In a flash, the shy Tsubaki lunges forward, her blade drawn. Her eyes are fixed on her target, her lethal intent unmistakable. For the first time, Rei understands this might be a fight he genuinely can't win. Before he can respond, Lilia joins the fray, launching her own attack from below. Eric intercepts with a clash of steel as chaos erupts throughout the room. Tsubaki follows up with a swift kick, sending Rei stumbling as Noah calls out his name. Rose joins the coordinated assault, her hands radiating formidable energy. Rose's glowing hand reaches for Rei, her intentions unclear, but definitely unfriendly. She makes contact and Noah cries out to the commander as her friend is struck down. Thrown aside, a terrified Noah can only tremble as the chaos unfolds. Tsubaki and Lilia suddenly pull back, apologizing for acting on instinct after sensing a monster. Noah rushes to Rei's side, terrified that the Guardians have seriously injured him. Rei is internally shocked. Their speed was so overwhelming he couldn't even react. Lilia sheepishly admits she told Tsubaki to stay calm, but her own words were poorly chosen. Eric smirks mockingly, questioning if that was anyone's idea of calm. Lilia concedes she wasn't serious, but Tsubaki confesses she doesn't know how to hold back. Eric thanks a flustered Tsubaki for bringing them in, admitting this was all to be expected. Noah shoots daggers at the executives, enraged that they dare question Rei's intentions. The commander breaks the silence, declaring it's time for a thorough explanation. He introduces their unusual guest, stating clearly that his name is Rei. The executives rush in, their overwhelming curiosity completely eclipsing their caution. They bombard him with inquiries, struggling to comprehend a monster that saves lives and wields their powers. Liberato observes that a monster with such potent healing abilities is too valuable to simply dismiss. Rose interjects, astonished to discover this peculiar being is a healer like herself. However, the commander clarifies that Rei's abilities focus on a single target, unlike her area healing. He concedes that if Rei could wield multiple powers simultaneously, he would be absurdly overpowered. Eric leans closer, asking Rei if he can rely on him, and our hero silently consents to the alliance. Liberato notes the executive's trust in this unusual individual is already astonishingly high. Rose agrees, confessing that the monster before her no longer seems threatening. Noah insists that Rei was never a danger in the first place. Eric quietly contemplates the strange turn of events, a pensive expression on his face. Rei internally acknowledges he couldn't even react to Tsubaki's lightning-fast attack. The other Guardians are utterly captivated by Rei's potential, their reactions a blend of awe and excitement. The commander clarifies that Rose enhances allies and weakens foes, making her a solo support powerhouse. Liberato jokes that with Rei around, her significant burden might finally be eased. Rei silently affirms their assessment with a firm, decisive nod. The commander explains that for ability users, holy energy serves as a potent enhancement, making Rei a living power-up. For any other monster, that same holy energy would spell certain doom. Rei's power, however, is sharply focused, only capable of enhancing one individual at a time. Rose admits that while her area skills are more adaptable, Rei will still provide significant assistance. Eric is eager to welcome Rei, but Lilia insists on keeping him under close watch for the time being. Even the reserved Tsubaki expresses her support, agreeing that Rei should be permitted to remain. The stoic guardian offers a conditional welcome, warning he will show no mercy if Rei betrays them. Lilia reluctantly consents to the surveillance, attempting to mask her growing acceptance of the situation. With the discussion concluded, the commander officially announces that a decision has been made. Ray proudly presents his new permit, allowing him access under the vigilant gaze of the executives. Lilia immediately questions how they'll explain this to the other Guardians as Noah excitedly whispers to a flustered Ray. Eric proposes they take their time demonstrating Ray's loyalty, and Lilia reluctantly dismisses the meeting. As she exits, Lilia offers a rare compliment to a flustered Will for a job well done. She then scolds Tsubaki for taking her words too literally, noting a rookie couldn't have handled that strike. A mortified Tsubaki turns back to apologize to Will, who is still trying to process everything. But her true concern lies with the commander, as she quietly requests a private word with Liberato.